Ghislaine Maxwell is supposed to be sentenced on Tuesday. Okay, it's kind of odd. It's a little bit weird, quite a bit unsettling, but not all that unsurprising. Just to jump over to The Guardian for a second, because we have to read the headline here before we go back to at least a little bit more of a reputable source. Ghislaine Maxwell put on suicide watch, but isn't suicidal. Huh. Really gives you the big think now, doesn't it? And who's Ghislaine Maxwell, by the way? She was apparently the right-hand woman for Jeffrey Epstein, who definitely didn't kill himself. And, well, looks like somebody's also on the same timeline here. So funny how confident they are in their position. They're doing it right in front of our eyes, and they're expecting us not to notice a goddamn thing. It's so fucking corrupt. Anyways, Ghislaine Maxwell is placed on suicide watch and may seek to delay her Tuesday sentencing for aiding Jeffrey Epstein's sexual abuse of underage girls. Prosecutors want her to spend at least 30 years in prison. When are we going to get the names in the diary? Yeah, no, exactly. I just ask her when she's at the end of the bed sheets on this one, when magically all of the cameras go out. Anyways, Maxwell has been placed on suicide watch just days before her scheduled sentencing for sex trafficking and conspiracy crimes, her lawyer said. Bobby Sternheim, who represents a longtime Epstein associate, yes, just say girlfriend, like, I don't know if they were married or not, but at least they were close, submitted a letter to the U.S. District Judge Allison Nathan on Saturday, stating the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn had placed her client on suicide watch on Friday. Insider reported Sternheim claimed that this was done without having conducted a psychological evaluation and without justification. Hold up. Okay. So did she request that, or was it granted to her under dubious circumstances? Interesting. It's so fucking blatant what they're trying to do here. A large piece of fabric. With a Maxwell allegedly wearing a suicide smock. Yeah, great. A large piece of fabric. That can't be used to fashion a noose and placed in solitary confinement. Oh, great. Somebody whose internal monologue is just telling them to end it all. You place them in solitary confinement. Interesting. Sternheim argued Maxwell's sentencing will need to be postponed while she remains on suicide watch. What? Wait for her to follow through on it, or what? Even if the lawyer claims she is not suicidal. Okay. Maxwell, 60, is due back in court on June 28th, with prosecutors requesting a minimum sentence of 30 years in prison. She is currently being held in general population area of the notorious prison, where an inmate recently threatened to kill her. Oh, I'm sure, and probably had a "I'm with her" sticker on his jumpsuit. Source told the Mail on Sunday one woman was going around openly bragging that she was going to murder Ghislaine for $1 million. What are you going to do if you're in there for murder? What are you going to do with $1 million? Don't make no sense. Maxwell's placement on suicide watch comes nearly 3 years after police announced Epstein killed himself. Oh, right, yes, exactly. In August of 2019 in a Manhattan jail cell where the financier was awaiting trial for sex trafficking. Yeah, no, exactly. Darn it, it's so bad that he also wasn't suicidal. But then all of a sudden, with all of the different protections that are in place, I mean, like, both of the guards that were there just had better things to do, and so did the security cameras and cellmate. Like, literally, it's just a magical thing that happened. He picked the right time to just, definitely follow through on his non-threats. Sternheim condemned the treatment of her client, who he said was not even permitted to hold a pen or paper inside solitary confinement. Yeah, no, exactly. Okay, like, she's a monster and did some horrific shit, but if you think that somebody's being suicidal and they're not allowed to, literally be a human being, isn't this what normally leftists are talking about when we need to improve the conditions of prisons, if not just outright abolish them? I thought prison was about rehabilitation and not about punishment, but okay. Spokesperson, a spokesman, right, of course, for U.S. Attorney Damian Williams in Manhattan, whose office prosecuted Maxwell, declined to comment. He was like, I don't fucking really care. Okay, we're just, getting the pine box ready. Maxwell was convicted on December 29th, and it's taken them until fucking June in order to sentence her. Like, this should have taken a couple of months, okay, but whatever. On five criminal counts, including sex trafficking for recruiting and grooming for girls for Epstein to abuse between 1994 and 2004. Yeah. Again, the details are pretty gruesome and grisly, but actually tomorrow, I think tomorrow, I also got another video of somebody else who's connected to this entire situation, may or may not have a Clinton connection in there as well. Same with Maxwell and Epstein. Obviously, you already know that, but him also finding a similar fate. Imagine that! Sentence will be imposed by U.S. Circuit Court Judge Allison Nathan, who also presided over the trial as well, because that's how all this shit works. It's weird, right? Maxwell has been held in the Brooklyn jail since shortly after her July 2020 arrest. She hadn't been suicidal before that, at least from what I can recall, and it doesn't bring it up there, anything before that, but she was kept under some horrific circumstances there, like constantly being checked every few hours in order to make sure, hey, you still not suicidal yet? Like, it was pretty horrific treatment. Like, I understand, like, she's a monster and all that stuff, but still, she's a human being, and probably shouldn't be treated like that, especially if you didn't want anybody to try to off themselves, but I think we know what the ulterior motive is when it comes to this type of stuff, but her lawyer objected multiple times before the trial about the confinement conditions there, including last November when Sternheim likened them to Hannibal Lecter. Yeah, but he had a glass cage and he could at least, you know, have visitors. Okay, Clarice showed up a whole bunch of times and he told fun stories about fava beans and Chianti. The funny thing about this picture right here, right? It seems like a nice log cabin. It's just a couple of groomers there just having a nice time in between massage sessions. But I want you to pay close attention to this because we got kind of a funny little... This is definitely a little bit of a conspiracy theory that I don't know if I necessarily share, but taking a look at these two pictures right here, it's like, oh, okay, cool. So you got, yes, a similar notching in the background and all that stuff. Okay, just a little bit of a cropped picture. We're obviously going to have a better comparison down there a little bit, but, and then you got somebody who looks like my grandma. Oh, wait a minute, that's the Queen of England. Oh, huh. Why is Epstein there, and why is the Queen there? Now, okay, this is why I don't necessarily buy it, even though it kind of looks very much the same, but didn't look like if any of this stuff actually got photoshopped or anything like that. The background doesn't quite fly, at least with me, okay? I could be completely off when it comes to this stuff, but get out of the way notification. But still, okay, you can take a look at the background here. Like, obviously, you got the cabin. Take a look at the background there. It's kind of weird to see a candid photo of the Queen for all things. Like, I don't know necessarily when this picture was taken. It's probably, what, the early 90s, late 80s, okay? But then, okay, like, you take a look at the background there. There's the hills, okay? The trees in the background. Obviously, things could have been changed a little bit, but then, like, the skyline doesn't really add up because it's not really that different of an angle, okay? So much so that the background would change all that much, but there's a whole bunch of other trees as well, and I don't know if I necessarily buy it or not, but it probably could be, might not be, but let your mind wander, I guess. A picture of Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein lounging in the Queen's log cabin at Balmore has been shown at her trial. Never before seen image shows the pair at Her Majesty's Scottish home. It has been reported Prince Andrew hosted multi-millionaire pedophile Epstein in 1999. Yeah, okay. Again, Andrew wasn't there to testify to the authenticity of that photograph, and I don't know who would have been there to authenticate it, but just funny, right? And obviously, based on the age of these two photographs, I don't think the Queen was there at the same time being like, oh, Ghislaine, it's wonderful to see you, but it's just really funny, all the parallels that are there, and what we will never find out when it comes to Epstein and Maxwell, and that's why I could literally give a fuck about this trial, because obviously this was exactly how it was going to end, okay? We all knew what was going to happen at the end of the day, okay? Nobody's fucking surprised by this. It's just the only thing that is surprising is how fucking blatant they are about this, okay? She's not suicidal, but she's getting placed on suicide watch, and they want her sentencing pushed off. And yeah, so if you like a rope or something, excuse me, ma'am, when would you like the cameras to be turned off? Okay, cool. You have a visitor. Only signed in with their initials, HRC. Don't know what that means, but yeah. I'll be checking in to see if the sentencing takes place on Tuesday. Like I said, got a little video tomorrow as well, with more strange circumstances when it comes to all this stuff. Because yeah, no, again, we're never gonna figure out exactly who is on the island at all times. We're never gonna get to the bottom of this because it's a big club. It's a big secret, well-protected club, and just shut up if you want any information on it. With all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.